call, sorry.
Brian Treffa,
Here?
Joe, is it Bosey?
Posey.
Here. Jan Shirkey,
Here.
Dennis Szymanski,
Here.
Deborah Addy,
Here.
Bonnie McNamee Slater, here. So we have everybody, so Joe can participate, but he is unable to vote. As the
Okay.
alternate.
Yeah.
For how long?
He can only
Oh,
vote
because
as long as
he's
He's
our
alternate.
Sorry. Approval or amendments to the agenda?
Motion to approve the agenda?
I'll second.
Let's just do all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Approval of the minutes of June 16th, 2021 minutes.
Motion to approve?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Zoning Board preface. The Clay Township Zoning Board of Appeals, or ZBA, primarily addresses practical difficulty based on lot size, location, shape, or contour, and/or location of existing buildings. We are guided by section 27.05 of ordinance number 126. There are 5 members on the ZBA, all of whom are present tonight. At least 3 members must vote affirmatively for a motion to grant a variance. 3 members constitute a quorum. Each appeal before the ZBA will have a public hearing, at which time the applicant will first present his or her case, and public comment regarding this issue will follow. During this time, members of the board may ask questions of clarification. If a particular point gets belabored, the chairperson has the right to limit comments. When the public hearing is closed, the board will move on to deliberation of the particular variance request. If the applicant should disagree with the board's decision, he or she has the right to take it to circuit court within 30 days of the decision. When your appeal hearing is concluded, you're welcome to leave or stay as you wish. Okay, we're open up new business, and the first number is 6A. It's JZBA 2021-13 at 8553 South Channel, sorry. Yeah, that's just the PDF files. Is a representative here to speak it? Please come up, state your name and your address, please.
My name is Brett Kale, and I'm from Ron's Marine, and my address is 6614 Gina, and that's in Marine City, and it's 48039.
Okay.
So we propose to build a boathouse, and obviously a couple things in the ordinance that we don't meet the height, and the second story is the verbiage in the ordinance, which second story would be intended for cold storage, keep boating things, coolers, fishing tackle, things of that nature. So in the area there on South Channel on Harson's Island, there's quite a few other boathouses now, some very large ones. There's one in particular that's about 300 feet away from our proposed boathouse that is similar in size, actually a little bit taller. I have some pictures if you'd like to see it. So that was one of our concerns. There's a large boathouse a little bit north of there, the Chartier Boathouse, which is very large. So those are a couple of our things. It's on a back bay. You go down a small road. There's a big lagoon or an inlet there. So there's nobody behind them. We're not blocking or obstructing views, things of that nature. When we applied for DEQ and Army Corps permits, there was a minor objection from the one neighbor just as to how we were in the canal. So we moved the boathouse onto land a little bit to provide them additional navigation, and nobody had any concerns at that time with the structure, the size, the shape, location, things of that nature. We'd like to keep it close to the property line just to allow access into the boathouse, per the neighbors having a boathouse and boats parked there also. Those are a couple things that we were thinking were relevant to this particular project.
Okay, perfect.
Do you want, I got some pictures of the
Yeah,
other
send us a
boathouse,
picture,
and if it helps, I printed out some Google stuff of where it's at.
I think we have that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we have.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You know, and in this case too, probably even overall boathouse height would be not even any higher, I don't believe, than any of the actual cottages or houses that are on that road.
Do you have a final
Channel
number on
side.
your height, midpoint?
The midpoint would probably be 17, like 17 and a half, I believe. It goes midpoint to the gable, to the gable, correct?
Well, it goes from the fascia to the,
Fascia
ridge.
To the ridge. It's a 10-foot wall. It was,
do we have that, Gary? By chance?
I scaled it out, it's like 17 feet.
So you're roughly 2 feet over? Yeah.
Oh, the wall is 17, 10 and 7.
Well, the wall's 10.
the wall's 10.
And then the secondary wall. And then there's
Yeah, but it's buried underneath some of that overhang.
Joe, when you're doing the means, it's from the bottom of soffit to the top of ridge halfway, and then you measure from the bottom up, and that's what we're talking about, where the 15 is the means, and then he's at 17.
Just to clarify, this is the neighbor's boathouse?
Yes, that boathouse is approximately, not quite 300 feet away.
No, I just-
So it would be very, very similar in size and shape, and I believe that boathouse is 25 to 26 feet tall overall, so a little bit taller. Footprint is basically identical.
When was that built?
You can have them
I
back.
think that was probably built 10 to 12 years ago, if I had to guess. 8 to 10. It's easy to say, you always think, oh, it wasn't that long ago, and then.
I got you. Yeah, I know,
It's-
time
it's-
flies
It's
when
been
having
some
fun.
time, yes.
It replicates the house, on the other side. It's nice.
Okay,
Good.
I'm gonna open up the public.
Okay, thank you.
We'll have questions for you, I'm sure, in 1
All right,
second.
appreciate it.
Anyone here to speak on this case? I'm gonna open up public. Just state your name and your address, please.
Benjamin Dawson, 7296 Audubon, Clay Township, Michigan, 48001. This is my first meeting, so bear with me here. And new structures and boathouses that are in Clay Township, do they drive new revenue for Clay Township?
It's taxable.
It's taxable. So I guess my opinion of a new boathouse would be to go for it. As long as we can bring more drive money to Clay Township, I would see definite positivity in that. So and that's, I guess, my opinion. But if we can drive it for, all of Clay Township, that'd be great.
Okay, thank you. Any other public comment? All right, I'd like to close public comment. Gary, can I ask you a couple questions, please? Do we have a midpoint did we,
Yeah, just based on his
Drawing?
drawing,
Uh-huh.
it looks like it's about, the mean height would be at 16'3", and that's based on his overall of 23 and a half.
are we concerned with the 23 and a half, or are we just concerned with the midpoint at 15?
Well,
Anything
we're-
over 15?
We're at over 15, anything
Okay.
over 15. So
Okay.
we're a foot and a half over, plus we've got that second floor element that comes into play here.
Okay. Is the second floor, was that, when they redid that ordinance, did they say anything on that? Was that ordinance changed last year?
No, for the second floor, no,
Just
it's
the
still held
enclosure,
as
just-
single floor.
Just the enclosure changed
I thought,
Well, for a boathouse, yes.
for a boathouse?
that anything under 7 foot isn't considered a second floor, period. It was just be considered cold storage.
Under 7 feet.
Right.
7 foot per the Michigan codes is the minimum height for a habitable room. So if you look at the general definition of an attic, there's a little bit of discrepancy because they say the maximum height of an attic is 6 feet. But I'm under the opinion that if we keep that second floor under 7 feet, then we're not at a floor. So we would still call that, attic space storage, and wouldn't constitute it as being a second floor. But we
So
do
he's
have,
11 inches?
So he's at 7 feet right now?
well, that's the wall, and I don't think we've got a finished situation up there, so you'd be also measuring in, the rake of the roof, too. So the wall height's at 7, but it's not a flat ceiling at that point.
So you would just have to make sure that it's 7 foot all the way through.
Under 7 feet.
Right.
with the collar ties.
Right.
Well, it's engineered storage trusses, so
I'm
you would
sure.
see that prior to construction. Do you have,
Again,
do you have scales? Did you have any truss specs?
I did not yet.
Okay.
I
Let me do.
waited till closer to building time.
It's still gonna be engineered trusses though, correct?
Yes. Probably part of the dormers will have to be slightly conventionally framed, tied in with small trusses on top of that, and larger trusses for a majority of the roof.
Well, at that point, you could even make the trusses at 6'11", and then there's no gray area, you know? And then we would just have a difference of, if that were the case, you'd only have a difference of 1 foot 3 inches, is what Gary said, as far as the means height.
But it's got drawn at 7 foot, I mean,
Which, that could be, wouldn't necessarily have to be written in stone. We drop that down and shorten that height and collar tie it across there lower for a storage situation.
So if they do that, we're gonna
but Brett, you have that
option.
option. I see right here, he wrote this. Does he get this,
yes.
Ron?
He gets
Or,
notice of that,
Gary,
yes.
sorry, I'm looking at Ron's brain. He gets your notes?
Yes. It's either by phone call or by mail or by both ways.
You know which one I'm talking about, piece of paper? Come up here for a second, Brett, I'll show you, if you don't mind. Just read the last.
Less than 7 foot.
Or seek a variance.
Or seek variance.
Yeah.
No, I honestly did not see that. I went to submit a building permit, talked to Cindy, and our next correspondence was by phone. And she said that, explained to me that our height was too much in the second story.
Okay.
So, that was all.
So, do you understand a 7 foot ceiling height on the attic?
Yes. I do not, ma'am.
Gotcha. Any other questions for Gary, you guys?
So,
Thanks.
Thank you.
another boathouse.
Another boathouse, guys. If it was on Colony,
It would be done
it'd
already.
be 4 feet higher, 8-foot walls.
So the zoning board of appeals should just be the boathouse.
Well, if you have all been down there, the lots that are there, or the front house is right on the water, and you got 25 feet to the road or to the private driveway, whatever you want to call it, and then you have 10 feet to the wall, seawall, so you got no room to put any of your toys, any belongings. But like I said, if they keep the 7 foot or less, it's not considered second floor, it's just storage, so that will accommodate the storage issue. But at the same point, going from trying to make that down to lower the pitch in there, then you'd be walking on your knees, and I don't think it would be necessarily, and it's not obstructing anybody's view, because that's a canal, rearage canal.
Well,
That difference of the means of a foot, or 13 inches, or 15 inches.
15.
It would only have to be an inch.
Well, the 15, but even at the 7 foot, I mean, are we really?
Well, that one there,
You know what I mean?
if it's stipulated at 7 foot or less, that's really not a thing we need to do a variance on. The only thing we would have to
But then you're
focus on.
dictating to him that he has to build under 7 foot,
Well, he has it 7
wood to
foot.
wood.
Right, it's under 7,
Un-
it's not
under
7.
7 or under.
No,
Yeah.
it's not 7 and under. I thought it
Right
was
now, it's
under
at 7. It would have to, wood to wood would have to be 7 foot unless he finished the inside, which is a different animal. If you want to put
Is it-
that in the stipulation of some kind of motion,
Gary,
to
is
me,
it 7 foot
I mean,
and less, or is it
Under 7 foot.
under 7 foot?
So it'd have to be 6 foot, yeah.
Okay,
6 foot
all right,
11
so, then we would have to just, then we'd have to state that then,
Correct, correct.
okay?
But in his location, I think he's not, I can't say bothering anyone. I mean, no one's here to oppose it in any way, shape, or form. I don't see where.
No, that lagoon
where,
gets very wide.
You know, yeah, I
from
don't
the bridge.
see as drawn isn't bad, you know, personally, I mean.
Yeah, that wouldn't bother
There's-
anybody.
there's
And
bigger out there.
boathouses all up and down there as well. Old boathouses, new boathouses. I mean, everyone's got them down there.
Well, I would make the motion then that we approve it, stipulating that we will go ahead with the means height that it is proposed, but put a stipulation that the ceiling height in the side of the trusses are 6'11" or less, to make sure that it's not considered a second story, close to 7 foot. Practical difficulty, again, I was hyping on or talking about the lot. There's nowhere for to put anywhere, put anything on the lot. It's a very small property. I mean, even though they own a couple 100 feet into the water, but that doesn't do them any good, either way. Unique situation, again, the location of the property, where it's at. It's particular to the, they're very good at that one. I don't think it's gonna take away anything, from the area by any means, and again, it's confined to the little property they have there. And again,
I'm trying to get you to reconsider the stipulation. Just leave it as is.
Allow for the 7?
Yes, leave it at 7. What happens if the ordinance is changed and you can have living at 7? Not that you can't, I'm just saying. But 7 foot's 1 inch to us right now. We have boathouses that are bigger than he's got 100 feet away from them.
We're dealing
just-
with this one, though. We're not worrying
get you.
about the future.
But it's still in the whole town.
okay, well, backtrack to
But
make it the
if
7
but
foot.
if that's, I mean, if you're gonna get a second at the 1 inch, I mean, or, it's just saying, it's drawn the way it's drawn right now.
Right.
Someone will hit you, if you don't get the second, then someone can always propose
Right.
something different.
Okay, well, we'll move back to the 7-inch or 7-foot wall maximum,
Or as drawn.
or as drawn,
Yeah.
okay, as submitted, I guess, right.
I think you hit every other aspect of it, but
Yeah, it's a substantial justice, I think, for the neighborhood. It's not gonna change anything. It'll definitely be a nicer site than the one that's there. Improve the value of the property in the area. I guess that's it. Oh, and it's really not contrary to the ordinance, other than, they do have all the side setbacks. Doing all that, there's just a difference of the means of the height.
So do we have a second on Dennis's motion as presented, as it's written in the paper, I should say? And drawings.
I'll second his motion.
Okay, so we have support for Dennis's motion to accept basically the paperwork as drawn. Roll call, please.
Joanne Shirkey?
Yes,
Dennis Schmansky?
Yes?
Deborah Addy?
Yes.
Bonnie McInerney Slater? Yes. Brian Treppa?
Yes. Passed. Brad, how long is it taking to get permits back from the Eagle and stuff right now?
I did, she wouldn't.
Depending on the project. Typical is 3 to 4 months. They're supposedly trying to speed up, seawall, especially last year, seawall soil
Right.
erosion problems.
I'd heard that.
So they're trying to speed those up, putting docks and hoists and want things more on the back burner, but they're not real fast. They're
Gotcha.
busy. This one took forever for us to get our Army Corps permit. I think I applied like last September, October.
Wow.
I finally got it issued from Army Corps, it was March 15th or something.
Okay, I just like to,
Yeah, it's
just to know, you know what I mean, or, I mean, not that we are in public, but regardless, it just,
3 to 4
you
is
know.
typical, but.
3,
there's
4,
experience.
okay.
Every once in a while, one comes flying through, we're like, very surprised that it went through that fast, so.
Gotcha. She's just signing, she's got to write the motion down. You guys are good to go if you want to stay or stay. We don't have anyone behind you, so. She's fine, you're good.
Appreciate it, guys, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
You want your pictures back?
You want your pictures?
Yeah, here, take your,
We should probably keep one set.
yeah, let me
Yeah,
just keep
that's-
the one set. Yeah, let us keep one. Would, yeah, no, but
Give them two
I think we're gonna have to
sets.
take
They'll
behind,
put them in their file. or
shorthand school.
Here's 2 sets.
They even do that anymore?
I don't
Oh, I don't
I
think
had a
so.
secretary that
She's
did,
gonna have that one typewriter, that just types one thing, it's one word. Oh, sorry.
no, my secretary in Warren did all shorthand.
Oh, my
Really?
Dan that sat on the KDA for a while.
That's cool. All right, so there's nothing else for new business, so let's go to unfinished business. I don't have anything. Report from planning commission, sorry.
Okay, let me find my notes here. We had a public hearing for the South Channel Yacht Club to rezone it from C to R1. And that got approved, so we sent it to the board, I believe. You guys are gonna take a look at it?
Was writing, say it again.
We approved the rezoning request for the South Channel Club, and I think it's supposed to be sent to the board after that.
Well,
I don't know.
hasn't come yet, so.
Okay, all right. We had some new business for a rezoning on Stone Road, and that just went from C2 to C3, which opened it up a little bit for them. And that's pretty much it.
Okay.
How did that, what was your last one you had? A grow house or something? How did that go? Never,
Not sure about that.
No, short-term rentals, I think.
Yeah.
Short-term
wasn't-
rentals,
That's
we're
all
still
on
working on
hold.
those.
Yeah, that's all
Waiting
on
for the
hold
state.
because the state of Michigan may take that
Oh,
over.
that's what it
and-
Yeah.
Yeah.
gotcha. All right, perfect, thank you. Any other reviewed, other matters for us? Public comments? Anyone? Close public comment?
Motion to adjourn?
Support?
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Aye, aye, Captain.